Gazelle's new calendar handles users in multiple time zones much better than our old one. So let's talk about what's improved and how this is going to make scheduling easier for you, especially when you have multiple users who cross different time zones. All right, so one of the first things that we're going to do is actually look at how we have this set up. So back in settings, I basically have two users on this demo account. I have myself as an administrator in US Eastern Time, and all of my events are blue on the calendar. And I have Fred Bryant, who is a technician in US Pacific Time. All our calendar colors for Fred are going to be green. Now, it is important to note that when you are looking at your calendar, all of these events are being displayed in local time for whatever user they are scheduled with. So for instance, I'm logged in as Tim Barnes on Eastern Time. All of my events are just displaying in Eastern Time as usual. But when I view an event for Fred, it's actually displaying at 11 a.m. Pacific Time. So you will notice that anywhere you are viewing events or scheduling events for a user who is in a different time zone than you will actually see this time zone stamp carry throughout the scheduling workflow. For instance, if we edit this event, as you go through the editor, you will notice down here that this is being scheduled with Fred at 11 a.m. in US Pacific Time. That's important to note because what it means for you is, let's say that we go to Fred's calendar. Again, I'm logged in Eastern Time, but I don't have to do a time zone translation to book an appointment on his calendar. I can just look at his availability and know he wants to work between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. And to book an appointment for him at 9 a.m., I just choose 9 a.m. and go through the workflow. And this time zone here is going to carry through, giving me definitive confirmation that I'm actually booking at 9 a.m. Pacific Time. Another thing to note is that this is still user specific. So if Fred logs in, now keep in mind that Fred is a technician, so he actually can't see my other calendars. But if Fred was an administrator on the West Coast and I was an administrator on the East Coast, when Fred logs in under his account, right, all of his events would be in local time for him, but all of my events would actually show that they were in Eastern Time. And lastly, it's important to note that our app is still going to function the exact same way it did before we released this calendar. Now that we have this calendar improved and launched, we are turning our focus to start improving the app. So that's going to be coming down the road. We know that when you're logged in on the app as different users, sometimes it can be a little challenging to figure out which time zone things are in. That's going to be something that we are now turning our focus towards and improving. So as always, if you have any questions for how to utilize users in multiple time zones, feel free to reach out. We are listening and we are responding to these things. This calendar and the multi-user element and the multi-time zone element of this calendar is a direct response to the different users who we have been supporting who have users now in multiple time zones. So feel free to reach out and we look forward to receiving any feedback that you have.